All right, guys, session 9. One of my favorite things to do with kids, let's improvise. All right, to not insult your intelligence, a lot of the information is just on the screen today. Go ahead and read it for yourself. I'm going to interject when I think it's important. But of course, what I do think is important is improvising with children, helping to build creativity and confidence. So, today's assignment is actually going to have 4 questions that are in this video. You can pause at any time to answer them. Please answer this one before you go forward. No right or wrong answers here. Just see what you come up with. So, here's what the dictionary says the definition of improvisation is. Now, what are we talking about? Keep in mind we're going elementary. But the second sentence is what is important to me. Providing students with the opportunity to take creative and musical risks. And even if they're not musical, I want those creative risks to be part of what you're doing with children. So why? Well, here we go. We spend way too much time in our classrooms trying to get rote information back from children. Math, there's a right and wrong answer. Science, there's a right and wrong answer. We don't want them always to get it right. Success and learning comes from failure. When you're improvising, there is endless possibilities for what your children can do, and there is no right or wrong. That is the most important thing to remember. They cannot mess this up. And neither can you. So be patient with yourself. All right, so here we go. Back to what I said. A lot of times we don't give the kids time to think about their own expressions of themselves, right? Maybe in art, but sometimes even art has too many parameters on it. It needs to be like this artist or this artist. We want their creation. So, what would you do? What do you like? Express yourself. That's the point. Getting kids to express themselves. So I use a little bit of improvisation at the beginning of every single class. It engages them quickly. It gives them that chance to express themselves, right? Build some creativity. It encourages room for error. It is okay, and you want to establish that in your classroom from day one. This is a safe place to make mistakes, right? The other thing is we spend so much time with children just mimicking what we say and mimicking what we do. That doesn't build any kind of creative thinking. We're trying to break that habit, and we'll talk about that in a second. All right, main ideas. Keep it simple. That's my third one, okay? My kids know about the keep it simple, sillies principle, KISS principle when they're creating or improvising, right? Of course, it used to be keep it simple, stupid, but we teach elementary school. So I'm going from the bottom. This is one of those awesome times when your kids who might not be great readers, they might not be great mathematicians, they can rock at this, and it builds their confidence and it brings them out. And this is often a place where they really shine. And it's good for their classmates to see that. So focus on the oral and not the visual. All right? Always when you have a choice, rote, not note. And that can be with literature reading, or it can be with note names as well. But let's let them hear it and experience it and feel it, rather than actually have to read it. And that top one's important. So set some parameters. Start small. We're going to start with like a 4 beat, or we're going to start with, I'm going to give you the 2 notes and you're going to make something up on those 2 notes. For example, if I had a conversation with kids that went like this: how do I get to Bear Creek Park? That's in my neighborhood. And the kids responded, how do I get to Bear Creek Park? I always tell them this and say, you'd sound really silly if you just mimicked me. So it's time for you to answer me. So if I said, how do you get to Bear Creek Park? And they said, well, you go over that hill and it's around the corner by the school. That makes a lot more sense. So instead of this, my children know they are never allowed to answer that way. Okay, they might respond, it's the same length, it's the same body part, it's everything, but it's a different answer, and they created it. Or I could say, hello, third grade, and they might say, hello, Mrs. C, I like to ice skate. All of a sudden, they're taking the same two notes I used, and they're telling me something about themselves in their own rhythm. But I've put the parameters in place. Two notes, it's safe. We're going to sound the same. And if it's not right, who cares? Big time to focus. This isn't going to have a grade on it or an expectation. They're not all hard questions. Here's number 2. I have 2 dogs. One is a female St. Bernard, 190 pounds, and she dwarfs her Akita brother, who is only 90 pounds. We love our dogs. Back on topic. So, how do we incorporate improvising into our classroom? Step 1, don't panic. All right. So, it is really important, though, that you make sure your children understand the difference between music and noise. For example, this is music. This is noise. And they will do that. Let them try it, let them get past it, don't say a word, and move on. After they've seen enough, then those who are not quite comfortable will start to do something that makes sense. It's part of the process. Noise and chaos are going to happen. Let it happen. So we start simple. One of the best ways to get your kids comfortable is to turn on some music, whatever they're liking. First we keep the beat, and then maybe they just make up a pattern, right? They go ahead and play with that pattern under the music, have the music nice and loud so they're not worried about, being exposed, right? Hey, those desks are full of instruments. Grab the pencil box, grab the pencils, grab the shakers. Oh my goodness, maybe it's paper clips, maybe it's, who knows what they've got in there, but they'll find some sounds. Let them make music with those. Let them tap along to whatever you're listening to. We get so sick of this extra noise, right? Johnny, quit tapping your pencil. Sarah, quit scraping that on the desk. Give them some time to actually do it, and the rest of your day is going to be a lot easier. All right, so let's just talk through some quick ways to get going. We've already talked about just building that moment, right, where they're just playing along with music. As I said, I love to start my classes, and I do every time, depending on the grade. And you would think that, 6th graders would not be wanting to sing by themselves every day. But if I skip this for even a couple classes, I hear about it. So my kindergartners go, hello, Mrs. C, I went to Grandma's house, because that's natural for them. They are going to make up something that they did. It's their favorite zoo animal. It's their favorite pizza topping, their favorite ice cream flavor, and tie it into whatever you're about to teach, right? But start that way, and you get some of that morning circle time, but you also get some musical expression. They can sing, clap, whatever they want, but it's a daily conversation. All right, so as I said before, same concept. Turn on the music, but now we're going to advance it a little bit. So music's still playing, and we go around the room, and one child does their pattern, and everybody joins it. So the whole class is doing that pattern to the music. And then you just go to the next person and everybody has improvised, everybody just created something, and we're all copying it, so it builds some confidence in them, right? But don't give them too much time to think about this. This is a, hey, what do you got? Throw it out there, let's play. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple easy ones. I'm going to talk a lot about A-B form. A is that song that you know. Old MacDonald had a farm. In this case, these are a couple that my kids love. This is Chomney I'm a Go-Go. And it has more of that military da-da-da-da-da-da, and you call back. So it goes, turn out your toe, Chomney I'm a Go-Go, and squat down low, Chomney I'm a Go-Go. Anyway, after this song, you're going to make a call. It could be anything you want. And the kids all together make up a response. You make a call, kids all make up a response. Once they've done that a few times, then do a call and response all the way around the class. Let them all have a chance to express themselves. And don't give them more than those 4 beats. Just let it keep moving, and that's where you're going to see some crazy stuff at first. And then it'll start to settle in as they know, oh, I can do this on the spot. This is kind of fun. You'll be amazed how good they get, and they'll start to challenge you with what you're coming up with. One the older kids love is called Pizza, Pizza, Daddy-O. And we do this actually moving around the room. Pizza, pizza, daddy, oh, 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 oh. Pizza, pizza, daddy, oh, oh, oh. Your brother likes it and your sister likes it too. Pizza, pizza, daddy, oh, oh, oh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, my turn. And the kids immediately respond. They don't get time to think about what they're going to do. They're improvising something. It may be cool, it may be horrible, but you'll find that they just want to keep doing it. And so once they've had all a chance, once again, around the room and then back to your song. This works with anything, any kind of A song that they like. Notice, you don't have to be able to sing. You don't have to be comfortable with that. A little chant, a little rhythm. It's really easy, and the kids are super engaged. And man, once you get them thinking creatively to start the day, watch how that trickles down. So clapping games, clapping conversations, one of the things we're just talking about, just expand it to just a clapping and patting game. Your body makes lots of sounds. We'll talk about that. We have already talked about that. But anyway, use those options. Poison rhythm is a favorite, and you can Google it if you don't quite get what I'm saying here. But you establish what the poison rhythm of the day is. Maybe it's something very simple like, and you do a call and response like you've been doing, like we did in the last lessons around the room. But if you come to a child and you give them that rhythm, and they immediately respond to it like they have been responding, they die. Or if that child gives that rhythm, then they die. So you have this poison rhythm. Once it pops up, if they copy it or if they respond to it, then they die and they're out of the game, and it keeps going. You can look it up. There's so many variations of poison rhythm that kids love to play. But any of these games that get them thinking are a great use of your day. All right, question 3, another very important question. So here's where you can tie it into your literacy. And this is ostinato accompaniments. Yeah, what's an ostinato? Join the crowd, that's okay. Repeated pattern that fits with the song. When you listen to a song on the radio, often the bass line is an ostinato. Boom, 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 boom. It's just over and over and over the same thing. The drum might be doing an ostinato as well. Can kids create ostinatos? Oh, you betcha. All right, I'm going to let you read this. So we start with a poem, and I like silly ones because Life's Too Serious. There's a million out there. Perletsky, of course, we all know Where the Sidewalk Ends, those guys. Find a fun poem that rhymes and has a good beat and meter to it. So here's the poem. The cuckoo in our cuckoo clock was wedded to an octopus. She laid a single wooden egg and hatched a cuckoo clocktopus. Now, the kids are given this poem in a group. It's a top secret poem, so no one else in the room has it. And they are to start improvising, to throw out different speech patterns. You want kids to analyze a poem? Have them create some ostinatos, okay? And they need to realize that their ostinatos all have to have a different rhythm, and then they layer them together. Because the kids are kind of hard to hear, and you'll have to max your volume out to hear them, I've written down what they're saying, and then you'll notice they gain confidence. When they have to say it by themselves, it's a little scary, but when you hear them all come together in a group, it really is neat to watch them shine. And this is another fun time to bring those kids who are not super on pencil paper, but they shine creatively. This is a good project for them. So what these girls are saying is, what? A cute clocktopus and a baby cuckoo clocktopus. A baby cuckoo clocktopus, and then cluck, cluck, cluck. Also sounds like TikTok. Here's how it turned out. Let's hear your speech performance, please. Just your words.
What a cute octopus. What a cute octopus. What a cute octopus. What a cute octopus. What?
I love it. Okay, let's hear those instruments. Nice. Give them a hand. All right, so you get the idea, and hopefully you could see how shy they were until they started actually performing together. A couple of those girls, you can never hear them talk, so that was kind of exciting to me. So then I let the boys have at it, and it goes, Teddy said it was a hat, so I put it on. Now Dad is saying, where the heck's the toilet plunger gone? Now this one is hard to hear the boys. They are saying, this hat smells weird. Why's there a plunger on your head? And why are you sleeping with the plunger? Why are you sleeping with the plunger? Keep in mind, ostinatos repeated over and over. Here they go. We're just going to listen to the beginning of this, no instruments. Besides, you do have sounds in your room that would work. Oh, there it goes again.
Our phone is called hat, and I was saying Teddy said it was a hat, so I put it on. Now Dad is saying where the heck's the toilet plunger gone? So us three are the ostinatos. Mine is this hat smells. This hat smells.
All right, let's hear your speech patterns. All right, let's hear it with instruments. So real quickly, hopefully you saw the boys did some arranging of their improvised ostinatos. They decided how they were going to present them. and all that extra leadership thinking that you want them to be doing in the creative process. Once again, I said there's no right or wrong answer, guys, as long as all of your rhythms are different and as long as you like the way it sounds. We are not always going to like the way the kids' creations sound, but that's okay. If they like it, it's right. That's one of the big, important, overarching rules of creating and improvising with children. If they like it, it's right. It may not sound like what we're used to, but that's okay, right? That's how things evolve and change anyway. All right, so to wrap it up here, I just have a video for you to watch. And question 4 is, how can you include some improvisation in your classroom? How do you feel comfortable? What would you like to try? Have fun, good luck, and enjoy.
Had an educational symposium when I was in university, and someone asked the crowd, why are we here? Why are we teaching? And I shouted out, to change the world. And I really firmly believe that. I think change comes from an individual level, and what better way to make an impact than individually with students day after day. Improv, as an example, is a wonderful way to incorporate that well-being piece into our daily lives in a way that's creating a space for fun and for play and creativity and openness of ideas. With certain students, I've seen just this general fear in terms of sharing their ideas and this worry in terms of whether their ideas will be accepted, whether the role that they play in their peer group is valuable.
When I first started, I felt awkward because I felt like people were going to judge me over things I did. But then later on, I felt more free to do more things without feeling awkward.
Improv provides an integration into the goals that we're trying to achieve in terms of student well-being, creating active and empathetic listeners, creating students who are confident in their agency and their ideas. It's a beautiful, creative, playful way to engage students using curriculum, it's adaptable to any kind of subject matter, and it provides a structure that's there to hold students in their growth. We're able to imagine that we are in a supermarket and we're able to use and apply all of that context vocabulary. We're able to use different verb tenses based on certain games, whether this is what's going to happen next, what just happened, what's happening right now. There's so many ways that I'm able to reinforce grammar points that might otherwise feel a bit dry in a way that's really dynamic, really fun, and really authentic for students to integrate into their own speech and to surprise themselves with the language skills that they indeed already have, and we're kind of just uncovering under the surface.
It feels nice to see me be more social with my classmates. It expands my brain to new ideas. When in group projects, I tell others my ideas more than just letting other people have their ideas more.
The amazing thing about improv is how rooted and supported it is. So to use one of these exercises and just say, okay, 3 words that you know in French, but we're going to try not to repeat those words between us, and to celebrate after a student just says 3 words, and to take those small joys and to celebrate every little piece of learning, because I think sometimes we miss the great learning that happens day to day, that incremental piece of just learning a new word.
It's a fun thing that I like to do with others. I sometimes make new friends. It helps me boost my confidence. I can try new things even if I fail. No matter what, I can be myself.
The 3 goals of improv are listening, accepting, and committing. So listening to others' ideas, accepting those ideas as they are, and then committing to those ideas, which is a really great way for students to be put in situations that challenge them, that stretch them that little bit. And in terms of acceptance, the slogan of improv, the mainstay of improv is the idea of yes and. When you offer me an idea, I say yes, and I add on to it. So it's not this idea of trying to change each other's ideas. It's really being in community with another, accepting their idea, and building on that idea, and seeing what we can build together So students that are equipped with the skills of empathetic listening, of collaborating meaningfully with their peers, of being mindful in conversation, and really gaining the ability to work together moving forward and to solve some of the insurmountable problems that we have out in the world. They're gaining this confidence that their voice matters. And strengthening the classroom communities that we have, we're benefiting from strengthening our larger communities and moving forward together in a way that is rooted in that idea of working together.
Happy improvising, guys. Thanks for watching.